Welcome, welcome, and hello to another New Spurs Order podcast. Under the Touchline Frack banner, I'll be a host for the first time in a few weeks. I've had a few weeks off. I'll be expac, and I'll be joined by two people who need no introduction. Regular on the scene across their respective platforms. Yao, first up. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Very relaxed, very calm.
I thought you would be quite calm. You are rocking Spurs merch for those who aren't looking at the visuals right now.
He is, isn't he?
He
I'm
is.
trying to do a Tobias.
Are you the one he's gonna be beating the drum in the South Stand next season?
I don't know what drum you want me to be beating. You need to say a pause at the end of the.
No. No, this is a good dad joke for you, but I'm not part of this.
No pause.
They-
No pause.
They
No.
need to. No, I'm not gonna be beating no drum pause in that stadium because they don't pay me enough.
Well, no drum action for Adams. Fair enough. In the background, you'll hear the dulcet tones and the audio tones of Tobes. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be back. It's good to be back with the bros. Not so good to be talking about Spurs, but hey ho.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Let's get into it then. There was quite a lot of chat, firstly in the group chat, just about a few different things this morning. Pretty topical things. There's a lot of talk about potential forward replacements going into the squad, as much as the narrative from that's coming out of the club that kind of like suggests that this is kind of separate to Kane. We know it's not. Names have been bandied around like Gift Orban, Brennan Johnson, Carlo Moani, especially now Gonzalo Ramos looks like he's off the market, going to PSG now. Vlahovic looks like he's probably going to Chelsea. Any kind of standout thoughts on any of those names as it stands?
And I say this in the politest way possible because I'm sure my fellow Nigerian brother is doing big things in Belgium. I believe he's playing in Belgium, right? Plays for Genk, right? But I am not prepared to see any Nigerian striker who isn't Victor Osimhen in Hotspur away this summer, right? I'm not prepared to see that. Yeah. So if Spurs, and what I'm saying politely is, it's not that I don't want Gift Orban. I just don't know enough about him to be 100% sure. And when the option of a Kolo Muani is out there, you better go and get that Kolo Muani. Yeah, go get that guy. If you're selling Harry Kane, go and get Muani. Right? I've come to terms with the price. The price is going to be the price now. There's no striker that is actually like good enough right now that isn't going to cost a bomb. They're all going to cost a bomb. So you may as well get one that's actually good.
Is Mawani that good though to justify what's the fee being even banning around from? Isn't it something like
80 million
90
euros?
million?
80 million euros. But
And
you're not paying.
he played against Spurs last season, didn't tear up any trees, so it is interesting.
Yeah, he didn't. I actually thought he was quite disappointing against us, but he's a good player from the little I've seen. He looks a good player. Like, he can dribble, he can facilitate, he can run he can work the channels, he can make runs in behind. He's strong. Like, technically he's sound, and he's 24 years old, so he ticks the age profile the club's looking at, right? So what we waiting for? If Harry Kane is really going, why have to settle for Brennan Johnson? Brennan Johnson, what? Where's that one even come from? Like, decent player, yeah, good lad, yeah, Nottingham's finest, but sorry, he's not what I want, especially at 50 million. Nah, man, get out of here, please, get out of here. If Spurs go to Nottingham Forest with 50 million in their hands and leave with Brennan Johnson, you failed. Sorry, you failed.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually rate Mawani probably the highest out of those three. I won't say clearly the highest out of those three names. It's just I can't ignore the Bundesliga factor of it. Like, paying that much for any kind of Bundesliga attacker is always giving me a little bit of a. But yeah. What are your kind of initial thoughts? I mean, I probably don't even need to ask thoughts about Gift Orban because of your war against Nigerians. But I mean, there's other names being bandied around. Is there any initial thoughts?
No, I'm not taking Gift. I'm with Tobes on this one. If you're going to take a Nigerian striker, it has to be Osherman. Not saying that he's really an option for us, but you have to go for the top range for it. Colo, Mwani, I don't know. If it was going to be me personally, I'd rather take Vlahovic. But the system's changed slightly. I don't know if he would be the best suited player for that system. Probably Mwani would be the better of the two. And with Ramos going to PSG, that completely rules him out. So yeah, I'd agree with Toes on this one. It's more, if you're gonna pick a player, it has to be a player that definitely suits the style of play that we're looking to play, but it can't be Brendan Johnson. We literally saw what he did at Nottingham Forest last season, and it's not pulling up any trees whatsoever. So why you'd spend £50 million for somebody who hasn't pulled up a single tree, a single root in the Premier League is beyond my belief. So I think that's all just nonsense, paper talk. That's trying to get him a move, personally.
Yeah, and obviously the fee which has been bandied around as well. It's unfortunate that clubs know we're desperate, especially for homegrown players, right? Yeah, it's all a bit silly. I don't know that much about Gift Orban, but I do like the profile of player we seem to be going for. Like, I like the idea of a youngish, like 24 and under forward who's going to be dynamic, can play as a 9 and can obviously beat a man as well, and just being able to play in multiple positions, which is what I guess Brennan Johnson can do on paper. I don't know about Gift Orban. We know Kolo Muani can do it, but yeah, let's see. I don't know about that price, but we'll probably find out as
Brennan Johnson.
We
Johnson.
we have no
Christ.
real other options, to be honest. They
Christ.
keep on closing each time we've been sleeping. We've been sleeping on the market, and
I'm promising you, there are like, sorry, Owen, to interject, but there are like 30, 40 options I would take before Brennan Johnson. No word of a lie. And it may sound like I'm being disrespectful because he's not a bad player. Like, let me just get that straight. He's not a bad player. I feel like he's okay, but whenever I've watched Nottingham Forest, this guy doesn't move me. Sorry, he doesn't. Like, he's good for them. But do I really see someone like Brennan Johnson coming to Spurs and pulling up trees? Not a chance. No, I don't. £50 million.
He's definitely not worth 50. Like you say, he's a good player, but not 50.
Crazy.
That's the Prem tax. I guess like no one even thought that Nottingham Forest should have spent nearly that much on Morgan Gibbs-White, and now it's looking like a snip. But it's a crazy market.
His is different though. His is different because one, he showed out for Sheffield United in the season before in the Championship. Two, his talent has been evident from the get-go. Like, when Wolves first got promoted to the Prem, he was playing for Wolves. The talent for this guy has been evident. And three, he is just a much better footballer than he's just a much better footballer than Brennan Johnson. Like, if you have 50 million to spend and you go to Nottingham Forest and you don't pick up Morgan Gibbs-White, but you pick up Brennan Johnson, Christ almighty, you've had a mare. You've had an absolute mare.
Fair enough. And obviously, the Fabrizio confirmed news earlier today. Like, we are looking in that kind of younger striker market, and Alejo Feliz has been looks like it's been close to just being done, to be honest. Does anyone know anything about him so far? So, I mean, all I've heard, I mean, I know nothing about him either, but I heard Tim Vickery speak about him earlier. I don't know if anyone else saw this segment, but he, I think he might even be a Spurs fan as well, you know, but he wasn't particularly moved. And he was saying how he had seen him play for Mascherano's, Argentina under-20s, and, you know, he still bagged a couple of goals. He's like a decent target man, but he just doesn't feel like he's ready for the Premier League yet. So, I think the sensible thing going off that and going off someone who's far more educated than me in this market, this player, is probably to load him back for at least a season and then have him back afterwards. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd seen any more Argentinian football. Maybe
No, brief, I do know about him. I did a little bit of research, transfer market. He played 29 games. Apparently, he scored 11 goals. Then I did what everyone else did. I went on YouTube and watched a few of his clips, and I wasn't moved. Wasn't moved one bit.
I think the fees around like 10, 11
I saw
million.
bare headers. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I saw bare
Yeah.
headers. I'm like, yo, is
I
this
was
the
like,
guy that
"Right."
plays like Aguero and Suarez?
Yeah,
Where's the
I was
dribbling?
Oh yeah,
Nah,
Messi said he's played like Suarez or reminded him of Suarez.
I was like, blood, there's a bunch of lying up going on over here because I could not see none of what these men were saying. So I don't know what pack he needs to download before he gets to the Premier League, but he needs to download it fast because yeah, it's bruv, for 10 million. This is a pet project because I don't know what we're doing here. But let's wait and see in it. Apparently, he's a FM manager wonder kid. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've heard
I've
this as
seen
well.
a few tweets about that.
I've heard this as well. If he's FM certified, then that makes me more comfortable in signing him than the comps because I'll be real. Foot Manager rarely gets it wrong unless it's like a Yaya Sonogo. Yeah, unless we're talking Yaya Sonogo, Foot Manager rarely gets it wrong. So, boy, let's see. From what I read anyway, it looks like Spurs would want to loan him out, right? Loan him out and then
Want him back or something like
and then he comes join us like a year later or something like that, which I guess is fair if he's talented.
Well,
but then
we did that with Saar, so maybe it could work out.
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. There's just so much up in the air for Spurs, especially like just generally in the market right now. So much work needs to be done to the squad, but we actually look like we've got progression in the centre back position. Mickey apparently has accelerated. Looks like it's nearly done, but for 50 million euros ish is apparently what Wolfsburg want. Is that even worth it? I'll put that to the floor again.
I don't know what the real price is. Spurs haven't come out and confirmed nothing. Fabrizio hasn't come in and confirmed anything. So all of these like 50 million euros that's been banded around, I'm taking it as a pinch of salt until we know what the actual true price is. But what has pissed me off the most is that it's taken this long. It was at this point 4 weeks ago, so I don't understand why we're only getting movement now. Like we're like 2 weeks away from the start of the season.
I understand, but I don't agree.
On a serious note, I don't, and I saw this today that apparently he's like taking point on the whole transfer. Like, first and foremost, why is he taking point on the transfer? Like, listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. Daniel Coys Levy, yeah, because that's what he wants to call himself now. Daniel Coys, yeah. Listen, you're walking a very, very thin line. You can't see me right now. As it currently stands, if you ever right now lock eyes with me in public, you're gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna lay one dirty hook across your jaw side, because I don't know what you're doing with my club, but it's driving me up the wall, bruv. It's pissing me right off. You need to stop micromanaging this club, or I'm gonna start making phone calls to the Saudi Arabia man them, and it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be fierce. Alhamdulillah, we're gonna buttress this club, and it's gonna be over for you. I've had enough. I've had enough of this Fazio. He's taking the piss, bro. Why is he still micromanaging transfers when we know what he's like? He's gonna run things down to the end of the freaking month. Is he all right?
No.
Listen.
Do you know what though? He tried to hire people to take this part of the job. One turned out to be a crook. Fine. His assistant, Greta Steinson, he's sacked. so he could let his new kind of football operations guy Scott Munn take over. And it turns out he can't even officially start the job until he gets further clearance from the City Group or something. So there's
Imagine
no
that.
one looking after that side apart from him. And you can tell that he's been prioritizing the marketing side of Spurs while we've been on tour, which is probably why we've not seen any outgoings either, and which is why we've seen these regurgitated reports from Tapping Fabrizio, who actually posted this new Mickey news yesterday as an exclusive. To his credit, it might have been an exclusive. But yeah, it's really stupid how much he's fucked up this whole backroom side of it. So yeah, Levy's been walking that tightrope, I think.
Yeah, he has. And then when I read that, like, apparent, because I was reading, you know, some of these like Spurs ITKs, right? So you got your Paul O'Keefe's, you got you got that other guy, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. There was one called Darren that's come out of nowhere that's apparently quite good as well. And then there's a bait one, George Sutton. Is it George?
Yeah, George. Yeah, George Sutton. I know
George Ban or something. Yeah, George Ban.
Not an ITK.
No, he kind of is. He kind of is.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I think he is. I think he kind of is
because he markets himself as one.
Yeah, like he doesn't like. He may not be as out there as like a Paul O'Keefe, but typically he does get fed some news here and there that actually turns out to be true. So he's one of them accounts where, like, if he says something, there's a bit of weight behind it, because in the past to be fair, you've known a little bit. But the point I'm making is, when I was looking through some of their accounts, they were basically saying how, like, the fee's closer to 30 million euros than 50. It's not going to be 50. But also I was hearing that Wolfsburg reneged on the price because they wanted more money, etc., etc. But it always seems like there's excuses for Levy. Why? Like,
always.
So you mean, I get it. Football negotiations are not as straightforward. It's not Football Manager. You don't just chuck in a bid and it's done. But why is it always Spurs that have to stall and drag and drag and drag? Like, if they said a new price, right, why does it have to take so long to find a compromise? It's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
I think a lot of teams don't want to actually deal with Spurs, and not because of the club. They don't want to deal with Levy. That's my.
That. I think it is just clear that, as I say earlier, I think Levy prioritised the market side of Spurs while he was on tour. Now we're actually seeing action and more urgency in deals. Now we just happen to be back off tour. I just don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, but I think that's stupid at the same time. Your new manager clearly needed defensive recruits. You went and got your midfield recruit, fine, whatever. But we needed defensive recruits. You left your new manager on tour in a different country with Eric Dyer, who he did not use once as a starter. Didn't use him. Yeah, he didn't start a single tour game. Left him out on tour. Even when Dyer was fit to play, he started Davis. Imagine that. If that's not a sign of intent, that guy is not good enough. Yeah. And what happened to all of this? Oh, Spurs are going to start ripping up contracts. I haven't seen a contract ripped. No one.
The rebuild will be ginormous, they said. The same nonsense they said last season. Honestly, as I said, I've said it repeatedly. After last season's whole fiasco, centre-back fiasco, I take everything that these guys say with a pinch of salt. Oh, the rebuild will be ginormous. Spurs are going to be ripping up contracts. So why haven't they? Why haven't they? You got 3 players with a year left on their deals. In fact, 4 players. Perisic, Lloris, Dyer, Sanchez. In fact, five players. You got 5 players with a year left in their contract. At least 3 of those players are categorically no longer good enough for Tottenham. Why are they still here? If contracts are going to be ripped up, why are they still here?
I think they were hoping for one of the Saudi teams to come in for Lloris, but that man watched enough of the Premier League to know that guy's cooked.
Oh man, I saw the fell.
Inter in for Lloris apparently. So I don't know.
Well, clearly not, because they're going for summer.
Oh, they're going for summer now. Oh man.
Yeah.
Fair.
They don't want a man that drinks alcohol before games. That's why he's not going to Saudi. Yeah, they don't want no wave due to be in their freaking squad. Alhamdulillah, you know them man.
No, it makes sense. No, it makes sense. And Sanchez can get 10 million, but other than that, like Perisic ain't getting money. Dyer probably isn't getting money at this point. Who's the other name? Forster.
No, Forster's still got another year, I think.
I
Forster's
couldn't
got a year
remember what the fifth name was in the last year of the
Cesc.
Yeah,
contract.
so I said Cesc, Dyer, Sanchez, Maurice,
Cesc is
Perisic.
in his
Yeah,
final
Cesc has
year.
got a year left. He's got a year left, bro.
To be fair,
I
thank
wouldn't
God,
know. He's not my guy.
kid's
So.
broken. Kid
Oh,
is
he's not your guy anymore, yeah?
No, he's not. He never
Okay,
was.
cool.
So.
He never was. You,
No,
you
he never
flipping
was.
liar.
I
Oh, I
just
was about to say.
told the truth about his initial spell under Conte, and that was it.
What spell was this? Please tell us of this
At
spell
the end
that
of
happened.
the season before last.
He's talking about his 3 or 4 good games towards the back end of that season. Davison Sanchez looked
Which
good.
at the
towards
ratio
back
in the
end of that
games he
season as
played.
well. So what?
Yeah, and
Oh,
we had justification for him to be a backup then.
Impossible. Højbjerg has played every single game since he's been at the club, and he's still an absolute piece of shit, despite what people do on Twitter to try and lie about his contribution. That guy's ass, and I can't wait to see the end of that Danish reign.
Yeah, and it looks like the postman wants him delivered somewhere else, to be fair. So you've got your wish in that, and he shares.
I like that. I like the way you dropped that. I like that.
Thank you. I took it from you in the chat earlier, so I'll throw the credit right back at some nice roses for you. Yeah, it looks like we're trying to get in another number 6 potentially on an opportunistic one. Maybe from Frank Kessie, as unlikely as it is, because he's probably going to go Saudi or Juve. But I like the idea of us getting the competent 6 in to replace maybe an out of favour 8. But yeah, I was just seeing what the initial thoughts on that are before we move on. Frank Kessie as a 6.
Nah,
on loan as well.
I'll take him on loan.
Yeah, I'll take him on loan.
Yeah, every day of the week I'll take him on loan.
I think it's just a normal loan. Either way. Bam. And yeah, we got Ben Tanker apparently back in 2 months, as he said to a fan earlier, which, yeah, I mean, he can touch pitch in 2 months, but it's going to take a fair while longer for him to get back to kind of the pre-World Cup levels, I think. Let's see, tap sober still might be ongoing. Those are just accusations, false accusations perhaps, but still accusations from Fabrizio. Ashley Phillips looks like it'll be wrapped up soon. Who knows? That'll probably be another loan back out. And then we've actually got a pre-season game coming up. I can't lie, this pre-season's been a bit... Yeah, it's been a bit off. We've got the Shakhtar game coming up. What are our kind of initial expectations for that? Because we look like we've probably got a plan ahead for certain outgoings. I think this is our last game before our Premiership.
No, we've got Barcelona.
No, we got Barcelona, but that might be behind closed doors. I don't know actually what's going on with that game, but it's not our last game.
Yeah. The Barca one will be the Joan Camper Trophy or something like that. So it'll be midweek.
Oh, so it's in front of a crowd.
Yes, in front of a crowd. They're going to play it at the stadium. You know, the stadium that Barca are playing now, when obviously with their season away from the new camp. So I can't remember what it's called. The one they use for the Olympics. So they'll play it there.
What, that stadium? The 92 Olympic Stadium?
Whichever one it is that's in Barcelona, I think that's the one that they're going to be playing.
Yeah, if it's whoa, that stadium's massive, bro. That's not a joke. If it's the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona, that is a wham stadium. People are going to be far away from the pitch, but the stadium, wow.
Yeah, that's the one. Estadi Olympic Luis Companies.
Yeah. It's that stadium. It's the 92 Olympic Stadium. Yeah. Do your Googles, B.
Yeah.
So we might see Ndombele again. Who knows?
No, we won't.
We'll talk about him later on. We'll talk about him later on. Yeah. But I do think, I guess with the preseason, you're right. Like, to be honest, I did see so many fans moaning about it. Like, don't get me wrong. Sorry. Like, I love a moan as well. And I feel like Spurs fans are entitled to moan about the club because the club are just not run well enough. But 2 weeks ago, I saw the club, I saw the fans screaming and moaning, oh, rah, rah, rah. Oh, only 2 preseason games. Oh, our season's F. Our season's this. Listen, it's a setback, yes. But the way I'm looking at it is Spurs have way bigger priorities than playing right now for me, between now and the season starting, than playing like 6 or 7 preseason matches. Of course, you want every player to be up to scratch, and preseason is important for fitness. And I think we're obviously going to be behind in regards to some of the other Premier League teams who have been able to play much more minutes than us, right? But such as the issues that we have in terms of players to be sold, players coming in, not played enough preseason games, it's not low on my priorities right now, but it's not high. My highest priority is getting quality players in. We could play 6 or 7 preseason games for all that matter. If those 6 or 7 preseason games are being played with the likes of Davies playing centre back, Dyer getting minutes, Sanchez getting minutes, Højbjerg getting minutes, Lo Celso getting minutes, it doesn't matter. We need good players. We need good players. So yes, preseason is a concern. Yes, Spurs should have played more games. However, I need to see some ballers go through Hotspur way. I need to see some ballers because I'm sick of this shit now. I'm sick of talking about how Spurs need to sell Joe Rodon. How many years have we been saying, oh, Joe Rodon's on the list of players that need to be sold? Joe Rodon, Tanganga, Sessegnon, Eric Dyer, Ben Davies. We've got 4 left backs, nothing decided yet. We don't know whether Perisic is staying or going. Lloris already told you, he wants to leave. He done told you he wants to leave already. And he can't hack the Prem anymore. And he's still here. He's still here.
I mean, listen, I've done my due diligence. Yeah. I managed to get rid of one of our pieces of crap. And that was Harry Winks. It took me 3 seasons, but I did it. Yeah, he's gone. I'm not going to lie to nobody. My next outgoing has to be Højbjerg. It just has to be. Yeah, I don't care for what the think pieces that have been on Twitter and the little, I was gonna say a name. I was going to say a name, but I'm gonna be on my best behavior. I'm not gonna say a name. No, I will say a name. People like Jacko that are out here doing think pieces, yeah, to retain certain people. You gotta relax yourself. You gotta calm down. Yeah, I want my team to succeed. I'm not gonna be out here dealing with think pieces that are gonna just be lying. Højbjerg, just like Harry Winks, has been absolute dog garbage for us for the last 2.5 seasons. And I cannot wait. I said wait, people, for that guy to come on down and make his way to Seven Sisters train station out of North London. He has to go. But what I will say is this. Højbjerg, you talk a great game. You really do. I think you're going to be a fantastic coach. But as a football player, you're as mobile as a flipping 82-year-old straight out of retirement. God-given hell. I've never in my life seen such an immobile midfielder play for my team. Who would win in a boxing match between Yao and Højbjerg? Højbjerg would lose because it wouldn't be a boxing match. I'd kick him in his balls straight up. And then straight after that, it's going to be a blood fight. There would be no freaking boxing match. He would lose. Don't listen to Toby and all of this. My Viking. My Viking, man. My Viking, man. Don't listen to all of that. Yeah? He ain't no Viking around here. He really fight.
He's a Viking. He's gone Viking. When he dies, he's going to Valhalla. Yeah.
No, he ain't. They're gonna slap him right back down to earth. His spirit will stay on this planet.
Didn't you have another name for Højbjerg, yeah?
Huh?
There was another name you had for Højbjerg, but you.
I called him Hoisin. I called him horse shit. You take your pick.
There was something. It was glazed and yeah, never mind.
The glazed donut, the glazed Danish.
Oh, Danish. The thing is, Højbjerg is going to leave Spurs. I feel like, come on, that one is inevitable. He's going to go. It's just a case of how much, right? They bid 20 million euros. We knocked it back, but they've now sold.
I
now
honestly can't
sold.
believe that we're trying to get double the amount we bought him for.
But there's fans
No.
say he's worth upwards of 40 million on the timeline.
Yeah, they're
Nah, he's
drunk.
not.
They're
He's not.
drinking
He's
the
not.
same juice
He's
that
not.
Lloris has been drinking.
He's not worth 40 million. Not right now. No chance. I think with Højbjerg, it's inevitable that he's gonna go. Like, it's clear the club are open to selling him. It's clear the players open to leaving. There's confirmed interest from a verified team, right? So they want him. They've now sold Llorente, or they're in the process of selling Llorente to Al
Yeah,
Hilal,
he's done.
right? So it's clear to see that they're going
Llorente
to
is
come in.
going.
Llorente's going. He's going to Saudi. Yeah. So they're gonna
He's
go.
Saudi,
They're gonna
man.
come back in for Højbjerg. They're gonna come back in
These
for
Saudi men have
Højbjerg. So,
changed the landscape, you know.
bro, mad, very mad. But either way, Højbjerg is gonna go, man. I feel like the club are not gonna. I don't see the club holding out for 30 million. I feel like they'll accept less, right? Just to get
They
him
have
out the
to.
door. I
That's
think they'll
garbage.
accept less. But I actually felt Spurs could get more than 20 million euros, and I think I'll be proven right, because I expect Højbjerg to go for more than 20 million pounds. Genuinely, I do. I do.
Yeah, that's your ex-partner. Of course, you'd want him to be.
Oh, shut up, man. This guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. But he's going. But annoyingly, he was the most sellable asset that we had of all the players that wanted to leave. I feel like he's one of the ones that would be able to fetch the most P's. I wasn't worried about moving on Højbjerg because I felt like we were always going to get offers. My issue is the rest of the players that I've named beforehand. What are the club doing to try and get these guys out the club? What are they doing?
They've just come off tour. You know, give them a break, give them a chance.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. Joe Rodon's been here for 3 years, and all 3 years he's not been good enough. Yeah,
Rodon is absolutely garbage. Like, honest to God, that guy, he smells of shit. My goodness, how did we even allow ourselves to purchase this guy? How?
It's crazy.
He is exactly what Maguire is without the price tag. He's useless. At least Maguire is good aerially. But this guy's garbage. He went to France. They said no, sacre bleu. They got rid of that you. They said we are not paying a penny for this you. That's what we said. Freaking red. We said to Red, they said no. Red said, are you mad? Nah, that is hilarious.
Man said sacre bleu.
Get out of here, bro. You're taking a piss. What? Nah, we are taking a piss, bro.
He's so bad.
I can't believe we even offered it.
What were they thinking? What were they thinking when they actually made that signing? Because every single Spurs fan, apart from maybe one or two, could see, yo, this guy is not good enough. Like, what? What are you thinking?
No, we are now. We're not actually deep in. We are really bad up, because how can we send this guy on loan? The French club said, "Oh my God, this guy is trash." Yeah, we went back to them. Don't you remember at the beginning of the summer we offered Rodon to them for a cut price, and they said, "What? How dare you?" We haven't heard a rumor for this guy since. Have you not noticed this? Since they said no, there's not been a single rumor about this guy leaving the club. He is garbage. Nah.
No such thing as
all Rodon's representatives hear this. Yeah, I hope they hear this, and I hope they literally tell him this, because I never want to see this guy at Spurs again. He is garbage. Yeah. Click this. Make sure he hears this at the maximum level, whatever the level is on your stereo. Max that out so he can hear this, quote unquote, from me. He is garbage. Yeah, get him out of Spurs ASAP, immediately. Send him to Leeds.
Sam Rodon's gonna be on your case.
I couldn't give a flying crap. I don't even know who Sam Rodon is. if he's
Did
anything
you
like his
remember
brother,
Know him, do you?
his brother that used to tweet all the time?
So-
Know him, do ya?
Fucking hell.
His brother used to
Jesus.
tweet all the time. Whenever people tweet about Joe Rogan, his brother would tweet it and start
Oh,
bantering
for real?
people. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he's like a rider for his brother.
Yeah.
Now you gotta have some shame. If your brother's pie, you gotta have some shame. Please don't ride out. Because listen, we haven't heard Harry Kane's brother since the debacle he made 2 seasons ago. That guy's kept mute. Yeah, he hasn't even put up a freaking LinkedIn photo. You gotta know your place, bro. Seriously, Sam.
Yeah,
Sam, tell your brother, because you're close to him. Tell your brother he's garbage. Get him out of Spurs, please. Thank you.
we were discussing this on one of our group chats earlier today, yeah, as well. And like Dave, I think it was me and Dave that were chatting, and Dave made so many good points that I was co-signing as well. And it was like Spurs, there is a systemic disease, like when it comes to cutting your losses with players. Like they just struggle to do it. Like when are you gonna learn? When are you gonna learn?
Leave is the disease.
Yeah, I agree. When are you going to learn to cut your losses? And the thing is, the problem with Tottenham is, it's like they dangle a carrot in front of you, right? They give you an indication that maybe they're looking to move on players. Like I remember when Nuno first came in, they got rid of Sissoko, they got rid of Alderweireld, they got rid of Lamela, they got rid of Wanyama, they got rid of quite a few players. Jan Vertonghen, I think Jan Vertonghen was.
I think he went the season before to Benfica.
The season before, but they made a concerted effort to try and move players on, right? But then they let themselves down because the players that they brought in were either too young or they just weren't good enough. Then they had to go again in January. Last summer, they bring in players 25 and under, rare tear, blah, blah, blah. But yet we need more. This summer, but then in January, they said, oh, you know what? Matt Doherty, he's not good enough. We're not going to sell him. Let's cut him loose. Let's just terminate his contract. We were like, oh, wow. Spurs can be ruthless. Okay, we need to see more of that. Serge Aurier, that's the player I forgot. Serge Aurier, after the end of the 2021 season, Serge Aurier had a year left on his deal. Spurs offered him a new contract. He said he didn't want to sign the deal. What did they do? They came to a deal for mutual termination, right? So they've been able to mutually terminate Serge Aurier's contract, Matt Doherty's contract.
That seemed a bit nasty on them, to be fair.
Yeah, very nasty. Very nasty. Considering Aurier was probably one of our better players in that bad season.
Yeah.
However, we're talking about guys who are legitimately dead wood. They are rotting wood. They cannot play another minute for Tottenham. And there's about 5-6 of them, bro. 5-6 of them. And we're still having this conversation. Cut your losses. And I'll say that myself, even with Højbjerg as well. Like, I know we can get more, but if Atletico Madrid were not to offer more money, take the 20 million euros. Right now, get rid of these guys. Cut down the squad. The squad is too big. We got like 20 million fullbacks, a gazillion centre backs, and only one's good enough. We got like 10 midfielders, and only like five, maybe 6 are good enough. Like, bruh, cut the squad.
All of that up in the air, and you haven't even mentioned the Kane saga. It's actually mad,
bro. This is what I'm saying.
I ain't got time for that saga.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm not even going in depth about it, but this is just to say like just how much is in the air, and the season is just around the corner. And like I just think back to like this time last year where we had the Crook as a director of football. We actually had some urgency in our actions in the transfer market. Like I only remember the Jed Spence deal taking longer than it probably should have, and we know why.
And we know who ran that deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like when you've got people in place who can do this kind of thing better than you, why not keep them in place? And then you've sacked Steinson. You've not even got Scott Munnin to help you out, and now you've left yourself drowning in your own work and in your own shit when it's a crucial time for Spurs. And it's just like hiring Paratici in the first place without doing the due diligence on his history ultimately falls on Levy again. So like, I can't be an apologist for him anymore. Like it's been shocking
proud of
from
you.
him from the top. So this is where you're right in saying that it is systemically Levy, which has been the root
22
cause of all of
years.
this shit. This window,
22
like
years.
we're actually
That's why I like
forced to cut our losses by virtue of the fact that we're not in
Bro.
Europe.
That's why I like Spurs. Spurs are on the cusp of signing a left-sided centre back, fast, young, looks like he's got some promise. Obviously, going to need some developing, rough around the edges, etc., etc. And how many fans are excited, bro? How many fans? Not many are excited, and that's not because we're signing a bad player. They're not excited because they're like, okay, but Dyer's still here, Sanchez is still here. We need one more centre back. Tanganga's still here, Rodon's still here. It's very hard to be excited about Spurs because the same guys that have pulled down the team in years gone by, the same names that have been listed, are still here. They're still here.
Can I ask a
County,
question?
bro.
And this goes for people in the chat. Has Jacko come out and said whether this Velez kid is the next wonder kid? I just want to know because he seems to be in the know.
Not sure.
Could you do your
if you end up seeing this, Jacko, or get told about it, feel free to come on. It's a nice
please.
safe space.
It's safe enough.
He won't do it. He won't do it.
Why not?
I don't know. He's scared, probably. I don't know. But he won't do it.
Oh, scared. That's
Just saying. He's been offered it. He's been offered it before.
That's a touchy word to use. Scared.
Boy.
And
you don't want that smoke.
No, there was concessions, but he seemed up for it. But we'll see.
All I'm going to say is this. Yeah, moving forward in terms of the transfers, we've got to the end of this month to get at least 4 out the window. Yeah, probably do the rest in January. But for me, it's more Tanganga. Fine, I guess he can stay until somebody comes in for it. Rodon, his contract has to get ripped up. There's no two ways about it. Guy's garbage. As for Dyer, Dyer's in his final year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. I need that contract to run down. That guy's going to be in for a harsh reality, boy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Boy.
Who else is on the list of going out? Like there's.
I
even forgot about Tanganga. Even though he started the first friendly, he started against West Ham. I don't know. Like Perisic was apparently really unhappy, wanted to go, seemed on the verge of going to Split in Croatia, and then now he's being talked about on the timeline as looking to stay as a winger. So that's interesting.
Listen,
maybe that's more to do with him having talks with Ange. I think he wanted.
I would
to
actually
leave
keep Perisic.
Yeah, I think he wanted to leave on the basis of what happened with that fraud.
Like if Perisic, obviously, if Perisic's only way of playing was going to be left wing back, then by all means cancel his contract because he can't do it. But if you're telling me Perisic is going to be an option in attack, why would I say no?
It's a wide man.
Off the bench, every day of the week. He's got technical quality and he's been around the block every day of the week, right?
I got 14 assists last season or 12, something silly like that. Yeah, keep him. If he's being an attacker, keep him.
Yeah. Truth be told, I've never really wanted to get rid of Perisic. Like I was, if he goes, he goes. But my preference has always been to keep him because why would you're just getting rid of a player for the sake of it when even though he sucked defensively at left wing back, the guy clearly possesses quality. Clearly, there's no winger that crosses the ball better than Perisic that we have, right? And he can strike the ball with both feet. And he, at this stage of his career, he's someone who can come on and can cook a little bit out wide for 10, 15 minutes. So yeah, man, keep Perisic. I feel like I would. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Harry Kane, but out wide certainly. If you're telling me we have Son, Perisic, Solomon, Kulusevski, and maybe chucking an Alfie Devine here and there, I'll take that for the season. I would happily take that for the season.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. There was a question here for the panel from Wanna Pop. Do you see yourself competing for any trophy with this ownership? If no, why isn't there a protest to get your owners out? Arsenal fan, by the way.
I can answer
Just
this.
want to talk football.
I can answer this. Competing for the trophy, to be honest with you, that's a moot point question. As Spurs fans, we expect and we would need our club to be competing for a trophy every single season. They have in previous seasons, but recently they haven't because the ownership has been an absolute farce. And the ownership has done this time and time again over 20 years. So there's no point of discussing the whole can we compete for a trophy, because the truth be told is we would probably say no right now and end up going all the way to the final in a freaking Carabao Cup, because it's happened before in the past. But in terms of like, why haven't we protested? I'll tell you why we haven't protested. There has been protests actually, but we have too many fans out there that are apologists, for our ownership, because our ownership has taken us out of potential bankruptcy in the past, and it really did help us. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Enoch, when they first came in, they really got us out of a very sticky situation, and they've managed to, build us up globally and given us a brand new stadium. But ultimately, football is about winning trophies. Nobody gives a flying rat's ass about your global brand if you're not winning no trophies, and that's where they've gone wrong. But like I said, there's too many fans out there that will always argue, yeah, but look at what they've done. They've moved us forward. They now know us in China. They know us in South Korea. They know us in Australia. Yeah. And they also know we haven't won a trophy in 15 years. So I won't be going to no protest unless I hear or I'm dead sure that something is going to be burnt. And if it is, I'll be there.
Word. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know I asked this earlier, and then we got into it with some of the outgoings, which is probably for the best because I didn't mean to leave that out. But Shakhtar and obviously Barcelona expectations. How do you see kind of Ange setting up for these friendlies with the view of obviously setting us up in the best way for our first Premier League game? Because I can't lie, I don't want him to continue with this Porro experiment already. Like, I can't lie. I think we should just chill for a bit, let it cook in the background, and just get Emerson Royale to come in.
Really?
I think he's shown that he can invert and be good in the first phase of build-up, and we know he can defend. I mean, that's where the floor is.
Do you want to say anything on this?
I would still persist with Porro, but if Emerson's picked, I'm not really going to complain because I think he's proven from last season and even in the preseason games that he actually looks relatively comfortable playing the inverted role, and I feel like his on the ball quality in the first phase of play has actually improved quite a lot since he actually joined the club. So if Emerson's picked, I can't really complain at that, to be honest. But I know what my preference is.
Just for the record and those that are watching and listening, a lot of Tobias's preferences in recent years have been stinkers. So let's just not go on his preferences because they haven't worked out well. Yeah. So at least Kane is allowing you to hold your fort, because that Højbjerg
and Son.
Get out of here. Son played last season broken, bro. I'm not having that.
And still hit double figures.
Has anyone mentioned Reguilon tonight yet as well?
Nobody cares about Reguilon. Move on.
This is what
Nobody
I mean.
gives a flying crap about that.
How is he still? Yeah, I can't see him anywhere near the team.
I think he might be going Sociedad, which means that because Sociedad are in for him. My preference would be to, I said it already. My preference would be to obviously Destiny as a starter, and I would actually have Reguilon as backup. But it seems as if he's probably going to be sold. So if he is sold, so be it. It's gonna have to be.
You have to get Tapsoba.
They're probably gonna put Ben Davies cover.
For the love of God, no!
I know, bro. I know. Trust me, I know.
Logic will tell you move Mickey to the backup if you have to. Get Tapsoba so you have to. What happened to Spence? Where is this?
He's there. He's there.
He was injured. something.
He'll be loaned out. I think he'll probably be loaned out to a Prem team because I can't see. There's no European football. I can't see us keeping this bigger squad. It just won't make any sense whatsoever. It'll be so stupid. It'll be so stupid.
What a mess.
Honestly,
I think we line up with relatively our strongest lineup that Ange thinks we have for this the next 2 games. I think he's going to get that team match fit in preparation for Brentford away, which is just going to be an absolute dogfight.
I do like the fact though that Ange he makes wholesale changes at halftime, which is good. Like literally, no one stays on, everyone comes off because
the 11 is good.
With the limited minutes that we have, it's good that everyone gets to run out. So I expect it will be much of the same against Shakhtar Donetsk. We're going to see the A team start the game, and then we'll see the B team finish the game. And I'll be real, the B team have been more impressive than the A team. I'm not going to lie to you. The B team have been more impressive than the A team. I feel like in the B team, there's a lot more tenacity, right? There's a lot more tenacity in the B team. There's a lot. I think the B team are just more aggressive players. Like when you look in the forward positions, the midfield positions, you got dogs. They're like guys who want to put in the dog work, right? But obviously, the A team have just got that bit of class right on the ball. So, I expect it will be much of the same against Shakhtar Donetsk. However, it will be good to see Spurs up close in person because obviously we've only been watching from our TVs. On Sunday, it will be real life. Obviously, it's going to be Ange's first home game. Obviously, not official home game, but it will be Ange's first home game. So, yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to it, to be honest. I've not actually been disappointed with what I've seen from Tottenham in pre-season, which is something I couldn't say much of last season. Last season with Conte, it wasn't like it was awful, but it wasn't good either. Like it was just there. It was just there. This pre-season, I've actually seen Spurs play some good stuff with a variety of players as well, right? The stinky ones some of the stinky ones have actually even been good. So I don't really have much complaint in terms of the performance, and I hope to see much of the same performances, and I hope to see much of the same on Sunday.
With all of that said as well, and we know we've obviously got a bit of an A team, bit of a B team so far, but with the things which are happening in the market right now, do we change the A team for Shakhtar and perhaps just start with Charlison instead of Kane, for example? Start even the Celso maybe, and just accept what we think Ange might be looking to do going into the season, because there's some clear outperformers, and obviously Kane probably not going to be here next season. So what would be the point in him starting with the likes of Kulusevski and some, when you could probably give Richarlison those minutes to kind of just get him more used to a forward line and a
but we don't know. Game. We don't know yet, right? We don't know if Kane is going to be here or not next once the season starts in like a week and a bit. We don't know that.
Build
would have you think that he's a rubbish player anyway. So yeah, you might be
right.
They're
idiots. They're idiots. They're absolute idiots. I think the way Ange is doing it is fair, to be honest, because to be honest, I'm not really fussed whether it's Richarlison that starts or Kane that starts. As long as everyone gets sufficient minutes, that's all that matters. So it doesn't really make a difference for me personally. However, I do get your point in terms of guys who are going to be around getting more minutes to get themselves up to speed, and probably just on a chemistry front. If someone's going to be a first teamer, you want them to sort of familiarize themselves with the players that they're going to be playing with week in, week out. So
yeah, fair enough. And obviously I agree with what kind of Miles and Wes are saying in the comments as well. Bayern do need to be more upfront. They just need to learn what happened with Man City in 2021, to be fair.
Yeah.
And put up. But yeah, I think that's everything covered for the evening, lads. Again, thank you for joining us this evening in my first pod back in weeks. Thank you everyone in the stream, in the comments as well. Big up.
Wait. Before we go, we're not gonna.
Go.
We're not gonna touch on Ndom. No.
It broke my heart too much, but I just want to say
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think before you say your piece, Dose, I just want to say, even though Ange, obviously, I can see why he's got him in the side and he's kind of looked to have favoured him over Ndom for his off the ball qualities. I just think it's hard to know what's going on in the background. Obviously, it's not the first manager to do this to Ndom, but Lo Celso's just too limited on the ball for me. He annoys me so much when I see him. It reminds me of me playing six-a-side for the first time in weeks. Like, I'm not getting my head up. I'm not aware of what I'm doing. I'm limited and sticking to the basic things. He can only shift it one way. He's very one-footed, and he's only got one above-average pass in his locker, and that's an infield left-foot pass, which, I mean, if you watch enough tape on him, that's easy just to cut off the angle, right? And other than that, he's just doing 5-10 yard passes. He's a decent dribbler and can probably get out of trouble at times. He's good at timing runs into the box in, I guess, lower tempo games. But it's just Ndombele has so many more strings to his bow, especially as a creative player. Like, so many more. Like, I don't have enough time to list them all. Like, it's genuinely too much. But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and it's just annoying.
I think with Ndombele, it's sad. Obviously, nothing's been confirmed yet, so we could all be saying this, and for all we know, he stays and Ange uses him. But reports are obviously suggesting that he's potentially off to Turkey, and at this point, I'm disappointed, man. I'm just disappointed because it's like this will be 6 managers. This will be 6 managers now. Like, at what point do we stop putting the onus on managers and put the onus on Ndombele? He's the only person who can be blamed here is Ndombele. It's up to him to force himself into contention. Everyone knows that he's better than Lo Celso. A blind man could see he's better than Lo Celso. But the problem is, Lo Celso, annoyingly, has actually kept himself fit for once. And when in the games he's played, he's made a positive impression on the manager. Against poor opposition, yes, but he's made a positive impression on the manager. And he's doing the things that the manager wants in this new style formation. Now, of course, we haven't seen Ndombele play it, but if there's noise behind the scenes that he's agreeing terms with Turkey, etc., it tells you that Ange Postecoglou is more than fine with selling Ndombele. And as sad as it is to see him leave, nobody can sit here and say that, like, this is unjustified or stuff. Yes, he's the better player. Yes, I wanted him picked over Lo Celso, but I'm not going to cry over spilt milk when he gets sold, or if he gets sold, because it's enough now, man. 6 managers and you still can't cut it? Nah, you only have yourself to blame. It was always him versus him here. Not him versus Ange or him versus other players. It was Ndombele versus Ndombele. And from what it sounds like, he can't beat himself. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I hope that's definitely not true.
Hey, yo.
No.
Hey,
I'm moving on from it because I tried to swerve it. I tried to swerve it.
You
Nah, I'm telling you.
Ndombele,
F the pause, man. I swear to God, F the
take
pause.
that to the bank. You take that to the bank, player. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Ndombele still to this day will be, and still probably remains, one of the most talented players I've seen play for Spurs. And it annoys me that body language Twitter may have won this run because, I mean, one, the Celso showed worse anyway. But 2, like, they just weren't open to him being involved in the outside, even though we apparently, if other reports were true, turned down a bid for Ndombele for like 20 million, just so Ange could have a look at him, because he himself was open to Ndombele being part of the squad. So when fans were kind of coming out and just immediately writing him off and not being open to him playing for Spurs, it's like, these are kind of talented players we've been screaming for
Yeah.
the longest time. Like at least be open to it happening.
Yeah. And plus,
And-
Lo Celso stinks, man. Like, listen, I'll be real. Lo Celso
limited.
isn't the worst player ever, but for Tottenham, he genuinely has played like he's one of the worst players ever. Bar a 2-month spell in his first season, this guy has legitimately been dog crap for Tottenham. Unless they're playing literally the lowest of low opposition in Europa League at home, favorable circumstances where he's not going to get pressed, his passing angles aren't going to be cut off. Oh yeah, he looks great then, but ask this guy to play to even give you a 6 out of 10 performance in a Premier League match against teams who can press, who can limit the actions that he wants to take on the football pitch. And then you see the stinky ass Lo Celso that has been around for Spurs for the last couple of years. People want to say, oh yeah, he's impressed at Villarreal. I don't care that he's impressed at Villarreal. I care about what he does for Tottenham. And for Tottenham, this guy flipping stinks. But if Ange wants to keep him, I'll shut up. I'll actually shut up. In fact,
if
I'm not
Ange
going to shut
wants
up.
to keep him and he can
If
be
Ange wants to
himself,
keep
I guess
him,
he has to
it
stay.
is what it is. I will accept that. I just hope that this guy stops playing like a scrub when it matters. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of him struggling to trap a ball against mediocre opposition. I'm sick of him running into traffic. I'm sick of him not being able to strike a ball properly. I'm sick of him not being able to take corners properly. I am sick of this guy playing like a piece of crap for Tottenham. If you
I
are going
even
to
forgot about his lack of awareness, his lack of composure as well. It's so annoying.
If you're gonna, people show me clips of him at Villarreal. I don't give a shit. Villarreal is not
better
Tottenham
than Gallagher,
Hotspur.
though.
I want to see
I
him
will
play
give
well
him
for
that.
Tottenham Hotspur because
He is
I
better
actually
than
used to like Lo
Gallagher.
Celso, and this guy let me down. I'm sorry. No, if you're gonna stay, perform. These preseason little clips and cameos, I want to see that in real life against real opposition with a pulse. Not no flipping 8th tier Mongolian league, Lion City Sailors or whatever. Sorry, or Thailand league. Sorry, why am I saying Mongolian? Thailand, right? I want to see a competent player. I don't even need to see an elite player. Just give me a competent player. I'm literally begging for the bare minimum. A competent footballer. Can you do that for me, Lo Celso? Lo Celso, can you do something for me? Please.
Can you do something for me?
God. Sheesh.
Hey.
Yo,
I think Tobes is
I
he's
felt
hitting
that.
the nail.
I felt that. Is he at least better than Gallagher though? I think he might be.
Gallagher is arse. He's
Yeah.
arse. They're the same thing. Honestly, Gallagher is just a better shooter of the ball. They're the same damn thing, bro.
Gallagher.
So, yes, if you're asking me, would I rather keep Lo Celso or buy Conor Gallagher? I'm keeping Lo Celso because 50 million on Gallagher is absolutely egregious for a player who has just as many vulnerabilities in the midfield as Lo Celso. Nope, I'm keeping Lo Celso every day.
Gallagher is, without a shadow of a doubt, a very clear indication that there is money laundering in football. This is a Gallagher move is drug money. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
No, that Livramento move was drug money.
No. If we spend 50 million on Gallagher, I promise you, we are selling coke underneath our stadium, like freaking St. Patrick was underneath Truth. Yeah, there is no way Gallagher for 50 million is a legit transfer. That is
Gabbanini is in Argentina, so.
All I'm telling you is that we are moving coke if we ever sign that you for 50 million.
Damn. Yeah, we're gonna need some of that in the South Stand if that happens, then. Fuck, you know. Anyway, what a sign off that is. I guess you got that all off your chest as well. Anyway, thank you again to all those in the stream. Thank you again to my lovely co-hosts. I'm not going to circle back to that open goal pause because that's not what we do anymore. But anyway, peace out.
Bless.